Thank you for joining us as we follow our mission of staying connected to our clients, families, caregivers, and other coworkers through our first of many webinars. This is a challenging time, so let's take a break from the chaos, fear of the unknown, sadness or loss we may be experiencing, or stress we feel and encounter every day. Our presentation will discuss calming the storm through self-care. Everyone knows how important it is to stay healthy, and when out of our usual routine and unable to connect with those we love, we become vulnerable. And it is this emotional vulnerability which can lead to a weakened immune system, ultimately putting our own health at risk. Hence the great need for self-care. I am pleased to introduce Angela Fallon, Caring People's Vice President of Business Development for New York and New Jersey. In addition to her full-time work schedule, Angela is a certified yoga instructor. As we get ready to hit the pause button from our less than normal lives today, I just want to discuss a few housekeeping rules. So you may see that you are muted if you're looking at a computer screen, and you probably will stay muted until the end when we open it up for questions. Also, you have a little chat or a speech bubble in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, which is where we can chat. So you can feel free to type in a question and we can address those at the end. We probably will unmute at that point, so you may be able to speak as well. So at this point, Angela, are you ready to take it away?
Okay, perfect. Hi, welcome everyone. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks, Joanne. So yes, you already know I'm Angela Fallon, and if Joanne didn't already say that for you, I'm here to validate, right? These are difficult days, and if you need that validation, there you go, you have it. These are really difficult times that we're working through, and I think as we think of this and as we connect to all of this and as we settle in for this little chat today, just remember that this looks different for everyone. Everyone's challenge looks different. Everyone's concerns are different. We're all getting impacted by the same thing, but the way that we deal and the way that this looks will be different for everyone. So let's hold that respect for everyone that's on this call and everyone that we come in touch with every day. So guess what? Today's the day. We're not waiting for Monday. We're not waiting for tomorrow. Today's the day when we're going to start to take care of ourselves. Right? I mean, how many times have we said, oh, I'm going to start that diet on Monday, or I'm going to go to the gym on Monday, or this is going to happen, or that's going to happen tomorrow. Today is the tomorrow. And there's no better time than now for us to get started with that. Given our current situation, it's paramount that we start to take care of ourselves. So much that I believe, and I think we can all start to embrace this thought that this is the new beginning for us, right? We can believe that goodness will come of this, that triumph will overcome this challenge that we're all being faced with today. And how do we do that? How do we become like the lotus that, you know, blooms out of the mucky, smelly, ugly mud? How do we do that? Well, I'm going to tell you a few things that are going to help us navigate ourselves through those challenges today. So first, if we think triumph over challenge, we have to kind of create a mindset for that. And so we have to remove some obstacles and barriers and maybe some things that, you know, maybe our go-to emotions or our go-to reactions that are going to be a barrier for that. So the first thing I'll say is, whoa, don't overreact, right? Take a moment, take a breath, and don't overreact. We have to remain calm through any stressful moment that comes up. We need to just remain calm. Oh, easier said than done, I know, but no one knows that more than me. But remain calm. Let's not do or say things that maybe later we might regret. We have to accept the present moment and the reality that we are in. We can't control that. We can't control other people's expectations of us through this time, but we can control ourselves and accept the moment. Look, we can realize that we are here and we're safe in our community, or we're safe in our homes, or we're safe with our families, or safe with our caregivers, right? Or safe with our clients, safe with the people that we love. accept that moment in time. And with that comes along that practice of detachment, right? Don't focus on the outcome. Well, if I do this, will this happen? If I say that I'm safe, will I feel safe? Don't think about that moment. Stay right here. Don't be attached to every emotion and every outcome. Here's an example. I'm petrified of public speaking. Anyone that knows me would probably be super surprised to hear that. But I can't attach to that outcome. I can't attach to, oh my gosh, what are people going to think about me? Are they going to get it? Am I going to communicate? Am I going to miss some of the points? Am I, going to be able to engage everyone? So I can't attach to the outcome. I have to stay present in this moment and do the best that I can, regardless of whatever you're all going to think about me, right? So that's an example. Don't overanalyze. Lord knows I've never done this. Haha, it's a joke. I always overanalyze. This is something I need to practice on all the time, right? Because when we overanalyze and we overthink things, it can be immobilizing, right? We start to think about things. We start to judge what our thoughts are, judge the circumstance, and we won't move towards action, towards our goals. So as we start to go through this conversation today, think about not overanalyzing what we're talking about, not overanalyzing the actions, just start to take the action. Just start to move through those goals, even if they're small incremental steps. It doesn't have to be this giant leap forward, just some small steps about self-care, right? And of course, I think one of the things that's most important here is don't compare. Self-care is not a contest. It's not a competition. This is about you. And don't compare the you of yesterday to the you of today and how you felt great yesterday and maybe you feel a little wonky today. Don't compare. Settle in with you. You are having your own unique experience. Create your own unique success story. And get ready to move outside of your comfort zone. We've been thrown and thrust into this, right? Just remember, nothing is permanent, right? Whatever this is, this moment, this challenge, this stressor, it's not forever, right? So I saw this little expression or quote that I wanted to share with you in this respect, and it says, turn your failures into lessons, your obstacles into opportunities, and your tragedies into triumphs. So as we go through this, think of every obstacle and try to turn it into a triumph, right? Everything. So let's talk about stress. Before we could say how we're taking care of ourselves, let's define some of the challenges that we face more specifically and how it impacts us, because we know that stress impacts the way that we think, the way that we feel, and the way that we behave, right? So, that's 5. So here's what we call the top 10 reasons for stress are probably things that today any number of us can be dealing with, right? We have this kind of impending danger. Let's call it out. Let's call that pandemic what it is, right? We feel that threat and that danger. We feel the challenges with our jobs and our health and how this is all impacting our personal relationships. Maybe people that we know with chronic illnesses. Maybe even, unfortunately, some people have suffered a death of a loved one through this. These are the top 10 reasons of the cause of stress, right? Finances, even pregnancy. So what are the effects? How does it impact us? Remember I said, the way we think, the way we feel, the way our body feels, the way our body reacts to it, the way that we behave. So we can come up with some physical ailments, headaches, stomach aches, overall malaise and fatigue, muscle tension. I know we all carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. I bet everyone's shoulders are super tight these past couple of weeks, right? It can manifest in different ways, Our blood pressure can increase or decrease. Our sleep patterns will change. Our digestive system will slow down. And so important right now, our immune system kind of starts to decrease, right? So how do we change that? What do we do? What steps can we take while the world swirls around us to anchor and stabilize. Well, I'm going to tell you, you stay tuned, right? Here we go. So the next thing that we need to think about, or the first thing that we should do, I think, in this time, it'll help reduce the stress and create some kind of normalcy for us, right? And that's to create a daily routine. So maybe some of us are still working. Maybe we're working from home. Maybe we're working in different places that we haven't expected. Maybe some of us are staying at home and would have always stayed at home and rely on some help of other people. What's so important, though, is the chaos kind of spins around us, is that we create a daily routine, like I said, an anchor, right? We start to restore order so that we can create our space for creativity and productivity, right? We want to feel good. We want to feel creative. We want to feel productive. And a routine, establishing a daily routine will help us with that. So if you were in the habit of getting up every day to go to work, you would get up, maybe do your exercise, shower. This is my joke, put on your lipstick, man or woman. Anyway, so get up, do that. Put on the clothes that you might wear to work. Maybe don't put the sweatpants on every day. Get up and feel that same function. Establish maybe some same routines. If you have children at home, do the same for them, right? Establish routines for them. Create space for what's important. If we have a routine, it's going to allow us on the other end to do things that are important to us. Maybe that's sleep. Schedule some little breaks throughout the course of the day. Like I said, schedule some time to play. Schedule some time for some other things that are important. And the next thing that's super important to us through all of this and in our self-care is exercise. So the slide here says, for anyone who can't see it, exercise because you love your body, not because you hate it. This is what this kind of encompasses. I love this expression. I know you see it everywhere and it's a little corny, but I love it because it really encompasses the whole ideal around self-care. Do these things because you love yourself. Extend that compassion to you that you would extend to someone else, right? And in exercise, you can do that. Look, again, this is going to be your own individual path, your own way of doing this. If you're at home and this becomes challenging for you, maybe your exercise, it's going to look different, right? Maybe some people are going out in the evenings for a run, or some people have, gym equipment in their basement and they're working out, or some people are, able to walk around the neighborhood or around their community. That's wonderful. It can be so simple. And the resources are endless for us through this, right? You can go online and you can sign up for a virtual yoga class and everything in between that and a CrossFit class, right? It's endless. Do something, whatever it is, make it something you enjoy so that you go back to it and you are able to really incorporate that into your daily routine. Remember the daily routine, we're going to make this part of it, this exercise piece. So as I shared earlier, I get up in the morning and my first thing is to do my yoga practice. So I'm able and then go on to the rest of my routine. So that's what I've incorporated back into my routine through these stressful times. So find something that you enjoy and stick with it, right? And the only way we're going to get our bodies to do what we're asking through this is to incorporate proper nutrition. So you are what you eat. Again, make those choices for yourself. I know it's hard. Look, my refrigerator calls me every day, right, through this time. It's challenging. I'm not going to lie. This is probably one of the most difficult things for me right now is that, that stress drives me to eat. Maybe it drives other people not to eat, but we have to realize and know that our emotions and our physical being is impacted by what we put into us, right? By our nutrition. So fill up with goodness, right? Increase your knowledge about your nutrition and what will work best for you. And then create a plan, right? And prepare. So we're in the habit in my household of doing a Sunday night food prep, right? So when our work weeks were really busy, we would do a lot of food prep on a Sunday night, cutting up the vegetables, maybe stewing some meats, whatever it is, stewing the beans and the grains. And putting all of that together so that we have our little bites ready for the whole week. Remember, whatever you put in is what you're going to get out of it, right? So if you're going to put junk in, guess what? You're going to feel junky. You know, your mood's going to change. And most importantly with all of this too is to hydrate. So don't forget about hydration. I'll also add though, don't forget, don't increase your alcohol level. This is not a good time to do that. Moderation. Okay, good. So the other piece that helps us when we think about self-care is kind of that emotional piece. And I think for all of us going through this time, maybe it's something we don't address enough, right? So how do we do that? How do we take care of ourselves? How do we address this emotional well-being? So, whoops. Sorry. I lost the slide. Just bear with me 1 second. Thank you. Perfectly imperfect I am. Okay. So, emotional self-care. Where do we go from here and how do we do this? So, this is not really about massages and candles and bubble baths, although they're glorious and that lovely if that's what you enjoy. This is more about you and respecting you and doing it without guilt and without shame and without the weight of others' expectations of you. This is the most important part for you to embrace. Look, your emotions are your emotions. Allow them to happen. Don't try to suppress them. Don't try to over-exaggerate them. Let them be. Let that happen. What do you do with all of that, right? So, and sometimes those negative emotions start to take over, and how do we change that around, and what do we do with that? So in yoga, the Yoga Sutras would teach us this practice called Pratipaksha Bhavanam, and I also share that, you know, this is also a wisdom that my mother has always taught me, and it's kind of a way of turning things around, right? So you take those troubling thoughts that are afflicting you and changing your emotions from positive to negative, and you start to cultivate the opposite thought. Change your expression, change your emotion around it. So, for example, I think this can be relevant for all of us. I'm stuck here at home. I can't get out. If I have to look at my husband one more minute, my kids are driving me crazy, whatever it is, right? We're all cramped up in our homes. It's increasingly difficult. You know, it feels like the walls are closing in on us. And we get tighter and smaller and smaller and smaller. Praktipaksha Bhavanam allows us to switch that thought and saying, I am safe here at home, whether that's by myself, with my caregiver, with the people that I love, in the community that I love, with people that I respect, whatever that is. So turn it around, turn around. I'm stuck here to, I am safe here. I'm happy here. I'm fortunate to be here, right? We'll go back to what we said earlier, where we said that this is an opportunity for us, right? This can be a new beginning, a place where we can start from, a place where we can take this negativity and flip it around and turn it around and create something positive with it. Sounds easy, sounds glorious. It's a lot of self-talk, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of continued effort on everyone's part. So what do you do with all of that, right? So I still have those emotions, I still have those challenges, I still say at moments in time, this is ugly, this is intolerable, this is difficult. So that's when we start to turn it around, right? We could do a number of different practices here. You can journal. Think about journaling as air traffic control for your emotions, right? Just write it down. It doesn't have to be right. It doesn't have to be wrong. It's not judged. It's just you and your little notebook. Practice gratitude. There's a number of different ways to do that. You know, maybe before you open your eyes in the morning, you're laying in bed. You don't necessarily have to shoot out of bed to get on the train right now, right? Or whatever. So just stay there for a minute and think of one thing that you're so grateful for before your feet hit the floor and give gratitude. So my sister-in-law had this really great idea, and they called it the laughing jar. And so whenever something, look, our lives are filled with great times and great experiences and great emotions, right? And so they had this jar in the middle of their dining room table, and they had all these colorful Post-it notes and pens available. And anytime something fun happened, something funny happened, a great experience happened, they filled that jar for an entire year. And when the year was up, they all came together and read those wonderful notes and those wonderful experiences and had that great opportunity to recall these happy times. It was very warming, and it was a great deal of fun. Maybe you do something like that, right? You can meditate. Oh, I know. I can't meditate. I can't focus. My mind's squirrely. I can't sit still. Like, meditation is difficult and it's easier than you think at the same time. We're going to do a little kind of breath work and calming meditation when we're done with this. So you'll have a little tool to take with you, but trust there are several resources that are free or inexpensive online for that as well. One of the other things, as our emotions continue to fluctuate through these times, is to stay in touch with loved ones. And I feel like this is happening organically for all of us. And I think this is great. I mean, I've been more in touch maybe with some of my family members than I would have been normally. You know, my friends are doing some little happy hour events. Even at work, we're doing some happy hour events with, through different venues on social media, whatever it is. So, look, it's a phone call, and it's great to touch base with people. And maybe while you're trying to keep that connection with your loved ones, this is a good time for a spiritual connection. Settle into your faith. This is a good time to embrace that, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you. When you're on that emotional roller coaster, settle into your spiritual connection is important. And look, I encourage for you to seek out professional help. That might be something that will be meaningful for you. To that, I would say that, Caring People can be a resource for you for that. We are offering on Thursdays moving forward through this webinar series a support group. That might be a nice, easy way to get started if you've not sought out professional help before. We can also put you in contact with some professionals so we can help with that. I think overall, the best thing that we can do to help us through this challenging time is to breathe. So, our breath is our life source. Think about when you're relaxed, you don't really think about your breath. When you're, happy or comfortable, you don't really think about your breath, right? Not so much. But think about that conversely when you are stressed. Often we restrict our breath, and our ability to live becomes equally as restricted. Our breath does a tremendous amount of work for us. Remember the causes and effects that we talked about before? Well, here's the positive effects that our breath can have on us and how it can help reduce those stress factors that we discussed, right? So our breath helps keep us calm. So when we're stressed, our brain releases cortisol, which is the stress hormone, right? When we breathe deeply, oxygen goes into our bloodstream, right? It talks to the brain. It tells the brain to relax. The brain says, okay, I'm going to release some endorphins. Those are the happy hormones. And we start to calm down, right? It works, our breath can work in the same way to relieve physical pain. That oxygen in the bloodstream helps that tremendously. It also stimulates the lymphatic system. So it helps us detoxify our bodies. So think about when we inhale, we're bringing oxygen in. We all know this. When we exhale, carbon monoxide leaves our body. Actually, that exhale is 70% of the toxins that are cleansing from our system. So the other 30% are through our waste through bowel and bladder. So if you think about what we're sending out, it's important for us to exhale as much as it is for us to inhale. And we'll learn a little bit about that in the exercise to come. Right? And what was really important, or important to us all the time, but especially now, is that that breathing can help us improve our immunity or our level of immunity. Think about it. Our fully oxygenated blood absorbs and carries all of our vitamins and nutrients throughout our system and feeds our organs and keeps us healthy. Think about that oxygen as your cleaning lady, right? For your internal system. She's scrubbing everything down. No germ's going to stick to that if you get some good oxygen going into your system. So think about it that way. So this breath work not only will help you feel better, it can help you stay healthier. Right? So it increases our stamina. I mean, think about maybe the first time you've done some exercise, or if you're new to exercise, if you're doing something that's maybe more strenuous, or maybe just, moving from room to room can feel challenging for us, right? So think about how that exertion, how that makes you feel. And think about with repetition and practice, how your breath kind of relaxes into it and you're able to build that oxygen level a little bit better. So it does help build our stamina. It also improves our digestive system. So as that refrigerator keeps calling, we need to keep breathing through this, right? So yeah, like I said earlier, it helps our organs work more efficiently with that increased blood flow. So we're going to try some breathing exercises. But before we do that, I'm going to give you the last final kind of kicker, the extra bonus that you get from doing breath work is that it helps correct your posture. So think about it. When we breathe shallow, it doesn't really take a whole lot from us. Maybe we're hunched over and it works. I'm breathing in and out. But if I'm going to take an inhale, a big inhale, guess what? My lungs are going to need more room, and automatically your spine starts to straighten because your lung capacity increases, right? So your diaphragm pulls down and your torso straightens. Oh, that's beautiful. And your posture is corrected. So I always need help with that. So before we get into it, before we start with the whole breathing, I'm going to do a couple of things with you. I hope you join me that can help take some of that weight of the world off of our shoulders. Okay, so we're going to start with some simple shoulder and neck stretching exercises that I think everyone can do. Okay, so we're just going to start with some easy shoulder rolls, but think about this with me. You're going to lift your shoulders up to your ears. Then you're going to bring them all the way back to the chair that you're sitting in. And you can feel your shoulder blades kind of starting to squeeze together. Then drop them down. We're going to do that 2 more times. Lift your shoulders up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together as you bring your shoulders back. Maybe even as your arms are dangling at your side, your palms come forward. And then you relax them down. 1 more time, lift your shoulders up. Bring your shoulders back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and release your arms down. So now I'm going to ask you to extend your hands forward, your arms forward, with your hands, your palms facing one another as if you're going to hand someone a gift. This is going to be your gift, though. Cross your arms at your elbows. Maybe you just stay here and this is good enough for you. Okay, so maybe if you're going to stay here, I would suggest then you just bring your palms to your shoulders. If you feel like you do a little bit more, bring your forearms together. Maybe the backs of your hands meet. Maybe you can wrap and your palms meet. It doesn't matter. You can stay right here with your palms on your shoulders. And then lift your elbows up. Whatever position you're in, lift your elbows up and then lower them. I hope you can feel this. I hope you can be doing this and feel that stretch in the upper back. Lift your elbows up and then lower them. 1 more time, lift them up and then lower them. Shake your arms out. 1 more time with that beautiful gift. Cross your arms at your elbows again, the opposite way, probably the weird way. And here we are with that no judgment. Extend that love and graciousness to yourself because this will feel different than it did on the other side. Right? Stay here and rest your palms on your shoulders. or straighten your arms and wrap your palms together. Bring your arms up, your elbows up, and then lower your elbows. If you have your arms on your shoulders, do the same thing. Bring your elbows up and then lower them. Almost squeeze your shoulders together so you can feel that stretch. One more time, bring them up and then lower them. Okay, release that. One more time, shake them out. Everybody take a big inhale through your nose and an exhale out of your mouth. We're going to do some neck stretches now. So go ahead and take your left ear to your left shoulder. Just let it gently drop. Don't force anything here. While you're doing that, think about bringing your right ear to the ceiling. And when you do that, you're going to feel a little bit of extra stretch in your right shoulder. So we said bring your left ear to your left shoulder. Don't move your shoulders while you're doing this. Let them fall back and down and relax. Okay, now take your right hand, your index and your middle finger, and bring that right behind your ear. And just gently just massage your neck. Bring your finger up to your ear and down the side of your neck. Back up to your ear and down the side of your neck. A couple more times. Maybe releasing some of that lymphatic fluid here. Okay, bring your hand back down to your thigh, and then shake your head down. And then bring your head back into center, and bring let your chin fall to your chest. Don't push, no forcing. This is your neck. It carries that big giant head around all day. It does a lot of work for you. So keep it slow, keep it simple, keep it gentle. Raise your head back up, and we're going to go to the other side. So this time it's your right ear to your right shoulder. Okay, don't bring your shoulder up. It's your ear to your shoulder, not your shoulder to your ear. And think about stretching that left ear to the ceiling. And you feel that extra stretch in that left shoulder. Oh, I love that. I think that feels great. Okay, and then take your index and middle finger of your opposite hand and just go ahead and massage from behind the middle of your ear down the side of your neck. Let that finger run down the side of your neck. I've got 3 fingers I'm using. Big neck. Okay, bring your head back up to center. And this time let it just real slowly and gently fall back. Let your throat open. Your chin almost feels like it's reaching to a wall in front of you. And then raise your head and bring it back up to center. Take one more gentle shoulder roll, and we're going to transition into some of our breath work now. So we're all going to take 3 deep inhales and exhales. So we're going to inhale out of our nose and exhale out of our mouth. Ready? So inhale, and a big loud exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Okay. So right now your feet should be planted on the floor. Uncross them if they're crossed. Uncross your arms if they're crossed. Take your palms, let them rest face down onto your lap. Your spine is straight. And your head is in line with your spine. Oh me, yes, I'm always jetting my head forward, waiting for the next new thing to happen. Yep. Let it stay where it belongs, in line with everything else, your thoughts, your body. And just feel your body, be present here now. Feel your feet on the floor. Maybe the backs of your calves are touching the chair. The backs of your thighs and your hips and your feet are in the chair. Maybe there's a slight curve in your lower back, but your upper back is resting in this chair. Your shoulders aren't resting low, not scrunched up into your ears. Your neck feels long. Relaxing your jaw. Relaxing your eyes. You can close them now. Relaxing your thoughts. Don't worry about what's going to happen next. There's no right or wrong. Relax your space between your brows. I'm going to take you through some different breathing techniques. Do what's comfortable for you. Do what you can. So first, I think what's most important for us today in this space where we are is to create this equanimity between our inhale and our exhale. So this is a trick or a technique that you can take with you after this, after this webinar, so that when you feel unbalanced or threatened or a little unsteady because of the things that are circulating either in your mind or in our space, this can help create that balance. So we're going to breathe in and breathe out in the same cadence, so the same count. So we're going to add a count to our breath. We're going to breathe in for the first time through our nose and out of our mouth and the pursed lips as if we're blowing a kiss to someone. So we're going to keep the count low to start. We're going to breathe in for 3 and breathe out for 3. Ready? Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. First lips. Inhale through your nose, 3. Exhale through your mouth, 3. Inhale through your nose, 3. Exhale through your mouth, 3. 2 more times. Nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. If that's enough for you, stay with that breath. We can continue and try something a little bit different. We're going to breathe in and out through our nose. I'm going to increase the count to 4. So go ahead and breathe in through your nose, 4, and out through your nose. In through your nose for 4 counts, and out through your nose for 4 counts. In through your nose, and out through your nose. In through your nose, 4 counts. Out through your nose, 4 counts. Stay here or continue to deepen your breath by continuing to increase the count by 1. Maybe you take 5 on the inhale and 5 on the exhale. Create that balance on the inhale and on the exhale. Your 5 count may feel different than mine. Inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. Inhale for 5. And exhale for 5. Stay with that equal breath. And as you inhale, picture the breath rising from your lower spine all the way up through your thoracic spine and all the way to the tip of your cervical spine. And exhale, release it from the top of your neck to the middle of your back to the lower spine. Just think about a light traveling with your breath, right? So take that breath from the bottom of your spine and let that beautiful bright light travel all the way up as you inhale to the top of your neck and all the way back down as you exhale. Breathe that light in and let that light travel back down. Take 5 more of these illuminating breaths on your own. The light travels up. Maybe it's further expands throughout your body as it travels back down. It starts at your spine and it illuminates your ribs, your heart center, all around your neck, so much that it illuminates all around you. And it releases and goes back down. Stay with this breath. Equal in, equal out. And now we're slowly going to open our eyes. And feel this gentle and calm space that our breath has allowed us to enjoy. So creating that equanimity, that equalness, that levelness, that balance with your breath is going to help you create that balance with your life. So one more thing. With that one more time, I'm going to ask you to extend your arms as if you're going to offer someone a gift. So if you have a gift box between the palms, they're facing one another. Cross your arms at the wrist this time. And then flip your palms so that they're facing one another and clasp your hands. Let your hands lower down and then bring them back up and around so that they're resting on your chest. You know, if you're feeling particularly anxious or unsettled, this is a great little thing to exercise. A great little way to ground. It's that little gift box that you're going to give to yourself. Grounding, stabilizing, relaxing, and maybe from here you can take a breath. So this is all about you. It's about you giving this gift of self-care to yourself. Love yourself enough to take these steps to self-care. Thank you everyone for joining. I don't know, Joanne, if you want to take it from here.
That was fabulous, Angela. I'm sure I'm speaking for everyone. Really good medicine and exactly what I needed today. I'm sure everyone's feeling the same. Does anyone have any questions?